So, continuing my story, after learning that I was adopted, I went back to Cornell University. It was the end of Christmas break. And I like to title this story When the Universe Talks, Make Sure You Listen, because I was in the school cafeteria when a friend of mine introduced me to a girl. Now, I was a sophomore, she was a freshman. This is Susan, for those that know her. She was introduced to me, and I thought to myself, I think this is the one. I had that message. It was really clear. I would tell you that I still had a girlfriend from high school, and that was still trailing off, but still on. And also, Susan came across as really immature. She was a freshman. She was there with her sister. But at Cornell, there were five males to every female, and she was very nice looking, and she was very popular, and she was giddy about it. And I thought to myself, eventually, when she matures, I will I will marry this girl. And so I was very patient. It was just a brief encounter. I remember it. Over the next couple of years, I would see her on campus and think, that's that girl. And just wasn't ready, was clearly patient. And finally, my senior year, I thought to myself, it's time. Now, she, meanwhile, had become very popular. She was on the first cheerleading team for the Ivy League when they allowed female cheerleaders. She was in the spring weekend court. She was popular. And still, I thought that was the one. And I found a mutual friend, and I tried to get a date with her. And this is the other part of the story, which you could title "Be Careful What You Don't Wish For." The Susan was so popular that she made herself some rules for dating. That way, she could keep it under control. And she had heard very bad things about Cleveland, Ohio, and so she thought to herself, if I didn't date anyone from Cleveland, I can't end up in Cleveland. So Cleveland was off her list, and I was from Cleveland. So this friend is trying to get a date with her. She says to Susan, Susan, you should go out with him. You'll like him. And Susan says, I don't want to like him. He's from Cleveland. And finally, to get her friend off her back, Susan said, I'll go out with him once. And to hear her tell her side of the story, she was getting ready. She looked in the mirror. She thought to herself, I look too good for a blind date from Cleveland. And I showed up at the dorm, and she took one look at me, and her very first thought was, oh shit, I could end up in Cleveland. And we went out that night. She was tongue-tied. This is like another interesting part. She was tongue-tied. She rarely said anything. She said the whole night she was thinking, I just met the guy I'm going to marry. And we go back to the dorm. I wasn't even sure I had done very well, although we had it was a fraternity dance, and we danced really well together. She said that was a sealer. No, she didn't dance with anyone as well as she danced with me. And I took her back to the dorm, and she thought to herself, I really need to let him know that I like him. She gave me a very passionate kiss, which you never were sure back then whether you'd get a kiss on the first date. And the rest was history. We just celebrated in 2023 53rd wedding anniversary. I will pick up that story as we pick up the issue of India and meeting Swami Satchidananda. That will be the next story. And what else I wanted to say was that she ended up in Cleveland, and it's been great. I don't even know what to say about it other than the fact that I did listen. I did hear the message. This was the person I was supposed to spend my life with. And my only message to you is when the universe speaks, make sure you're paying attention. The people you meet, the people you're supposed to be with, you will get that message. Make sure you're listening. Blessings to all. Until next time.